Welcome, it's Dawn with For Grace Creations, and I thought I'd pop on real quick and just show you what I'm doing. It is more prep work for the vintage journal that we're going to put together. I have taken, it's gone, but instant coffee crystals, and I boiled some water and I put in a bowl, I put maybe 4 or 5 spoonfuls of this and just stirred it up. And I let it cool down a little bit. And then I just took some printer paper, music paper, and a couple of sheets of graph paper. And I think I grabbed a couple atlases. And what I did was I put a little bit of the coffee water in here. It's just an old baking sheet. And I put my first piece of paper down and I poured a little coffee over top of that. And then I grabbed a spoon, just a regular old spoon, and I put my next piece of paper down and I kind of went like this around the edges. And then I started pulling coffee to the middle to get the whole page wet. Once that page was wet, I put the next one down. And I did the same thing, just pulling this over. And then eventually I poured more coffee and I just kept going. At the very end, I poured what was left right over top. And I usually let this sit, I don't know, about 10 to 15 minutes. You could let it sit longer if you want darker. You also could add more coffee grounds if you want darker. And then what I do is I just pull a few pieces out right away so they're lighter, and I set them on my countertop. I do have a cup of coffee because, I mean, you gotta drink coffee when you're playing with coffee, right? I turn my oven on to 5 minutes. I have it preheated at 200, maybe 220 degrees. And in 5 minutes, what I do, let's turn this off, is I grab a hot pad, I go ahead and I take this out. Now I want you to see something. In order for my papers not to stick to the pan, I have a silicone mat. Now you can get these online. You can get them on Walmart or at Walmart, anywhere. It's just a silicone baking mat. And here's what I will do next. I'm going to take the top one. It's still a little wet off and lay it to the side carefully because this paper, depending on how thin your paper is, can rip. So I'm gonna set that down. And then I'm just gonna turn this over. Now here's the key. You need to make sure when you're baking paper that you have a fire extinguisher, just in case. So we're gonna put them back upside down, just to get a little more airflow. Oh, look at that, I'm cooking a hair. Anybody else have long hair and find it everywhere? And right now I just have 3 pages in there. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put it back. And this time I'm going to put it on 4 minutes. Now I'm standing right here in the kitchen. I'm not walking away at all. If I have to go to the bathroom or do anything that's out of sight of this oven, then I'm going to actually open the oven, take out the pan, and then, you know, do whatever I need to do and then come back. I could lay these papers outside, but today it's windy and they would blow away. This process does take a little while. This big, ugly counter space here, I usually end up with these here just before I put them on the pan to go in the oven. It just gives them a little time to air dry. So that's what I'm doing today because I want some coffee dyed pages in my journal. I hope you enjoy your afternoon. Thanks for being here, and let me know, how do you coffee dye paper? Bye guys.